recording going. I'm sorry for holding you up. I was just waiting for a teacher to come in, but I didn't know it was you, King.
Huh?
Hey, Salakia, remember when the Roman soldiers came to Yahushua? They're like, "Where is this man that is called the Christ?" And say, "It is I.
God.
I am.
I am." God damn it.
All praises. Is there a reader on there?
It is I.
God.
God,
All
so
praises.
you got the floor, King.
God. All praises. Shalom,
Hey,
shalom.
Do you need to share the
God.
screen? You need host?
No, I sent you the video that I put up there. I sent one to your number. I'm not sure if you seen it yet.
No, I didn't have my phone on me. You sent it to my
And I also
phone?
sent it in the WhatsApp.
This
Yeah, I just sent it to the Game
God.
of Life.
So,
time. Okay, so yeah, you got it, King.
all praises. Shalom, shalom. Yahweh Shemi Shabrak to the nation and to the four corners of earth that that Israel resides in. Right? The lesson for today is literally going to be called the way of a soldier. Right? And we have to raise up even our children up in these same ways. Right? So give me the book of Isaiah chapter 58 and verse number 5. Real quick. Isaiah chapter 58 and verse number 5.
You said Isaiah 58 and 5?
Salakia, Psalms 78 and verse number 5.
Okay, come. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 78, and verse number 5. When everyone have it, say Khan. Psalms chapter 78 and verse number 5. For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel,
Right.
which he commanded our fathers, that they should make them known to their children.
Right, to their children. So the way that we move as a nation, it has to be passed down unto the children, right? So that they can get it and they can give it to their children, and their children give it to their grandchildren, and so on and so forth. Right, keep reading.
So that they can make them known to their children, that the generation to come might know them.
Right.
Even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children.
God. So we got to arise and declare them to our children so that our children also arise and declare it to their children. That's how you build a nation. That's how you even build an army for the Most High God, right? Because if you look at nowadays, the way of a soldier is not being passed down to the children, right? You look at Megan, what's her name? Megan Fox. All three of her children, transgenders, man, right? All three of the boys. And we don't want to go according to the ways of our oppressors. Let's get Second Maccabees chapter 4 and verse number 15.
Oh.
Second Maccabees chapter 4 and verse number 15. We have to raise up our children underneath the laws, statutes, and commandments, and under the confines of the Most High God. Anything other than that is going to cause them to go into chaos. And the world is just getting worse and worse. Every step that we take and every day that we live, we actually see the world getting worse and worse. All right. So bring that up, gang.
Khan. This is Second Maccabees chapter 4 and verse number 15. You want 15 or 14?
14 and 15. All
right. Second Maccabees chapter 4 and verse number 14. When everyone have it, say Khan. Con. Second Maccabees 4 and verse 14. That the priests had no courage to serve anymore at the altar.
See, now our people don't have any more courage, right? For the most part, of outside of people who know that they're Israelites, they don't have the courage to stand up for the Most High God. That's why you got to continue to pass it down generation and generation, right? Keep reading.
But despising the temple and neglecting the sacrifices,
Right, keep reading.
hasten to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise after the game of discus called them
Right.
forth.
Keep reading.
Not saddened by the honors of their fathers.
Not what?
Not saddened by the honors of their fathers.
Now, our people don't set by the honors of their forefathers. See, soldiers, they have customs and morals that they go by. A lot of people that's up in, say, armed services, man, they're up in it because their father was up in it or their great grandfather. There's a family history of their men up in the so-called army or military, right? The same thing goes for when you're building the army of the Most High God. You want to say, hey, my family kind of been up in this thing, right? We want to raise up children that get born into the truth, born a soldier of the Most High God, right? We want to set by the honors of our forefathers, and we want to live by the legacy that our forefathers have brought us, and all the work that they did to write up in these books, because that was a laborious task, right? You don't want to take these things for granted. You got to eat this whole road. Right? Don't put the hard work that your forefathers have put forward and take it to none effect. Right? Keep reading.
But liking the glory of the Grecians best of all.
See, and our people like the glory of the Grecians, man. The glory of the Edomites, the way that they live up in this kingdom. They're kind of coveting their spot up in this world, man. Right? When you're supposed to actually go according to the ways of the Most High. The Edomite, he doesn't care about the laws of the Most High. Yeah, he got "In God We Trust" on the back of his dollar bill, but that God is mammon for them. It doesn't have anything to do with your God, the God of Israel, right? Yahweh, right? Keep reading.
Verse 16. By reason whereof sore calamity came upon them.
See, and because of that, we're up in the curses, right? So the way of the soldier doesn't envy the opposing team. He doesn't envy his enemy. He sets in the honor of his forefathers, right? And the honor of our forefathers, we have certain customs and laws and ways that we must raise up our children and even conduct ourselves, right? Let's get the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse number 9.
Uh,
1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse number 9. Because a,
uh,
a soldier, a soldier for the Most High God is going to strive for the things that the Most High God loves. Right? So read that out.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse number 9. When everyone have it, say con. 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse number 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God?
Right? Keep reading.
Be not deceived. Neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor
Nor what?
abusers of themselves, nor effeminate.
Right. So you have to be a man, right? To be a soldier, man. You have to gird yourself up. Drop that again, Job chapter 40 and verse number 7. You got to gird yourself up in this thing, man. Right? You got to put on the whole armor of the Most High God, because the world got just about everything to try to put a chink in your armor. So there's a way to be a soldier, man. The ways of the soldier, right, is not just putting on your fringes, man. You have to go, you got to strive for the truth until death, man. Right? A soldier strives for what he believes in, right? Until death. is knocking at his door. Bring that out.
What you want again?
Job chapter 40 and verse number 7.
It's the book of Job, chapter 40 and verse 7. When everyone have it, say Khan. Job chapter 40 and verse 7. Gird up thy loins now like a man.
It say what?
Gird up thy loins now like a man.
Hey, you got to gird up your loins, man. Right? The Lord's not dealing with weak men. We out there on the streets teaching, but pretty soon you can tell that they're gonna ramp up. It don't matter who get up in office. It doesn't matter who's elected president. We know that things finna go up in smoke, man. And you got to be ready, right? You must be ready. So you got to gird yourself up. Put on the armor of the Most High God, right? So and be ready because Satan's pissed off, man. Satan is pissed. And so you got to gird yourself up in this thing as a soldier. You got to be a good soldier for the Most High God, right? Get 2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse number 7, right? You got to gird yourself up in this thing. If not, you're gonna fall away. And a lot of people have fallen away. In this year alone, man, got so many things happening within the nation. You better gird yourself up, or you're gonna be left. Right, like the 5 virgins that didn't have the oil, man. You want to keep your lamp trimmed and burning. Right, bring that out.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 7. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind.
All right. So the Lord didn't put us here to fear anything but him. Right? Don't fear the person that could take away the body. Fear the one that could destroy the body and the spirit, man. The body and the soul. Right? We have to walk in the faith of the Most High God because the Most High God is our superpower. As a nation of Israel, we have the only God that there is. Literally. Everything else is just wood and stone. But we have a whole God on our side. So a soldier is not going to operate in fear. He's going to operate in the power that the Most High God has given him, right? And he's going to have a sound mind. He's not going to bug out, right? A lot of people, when all hell breaks loose, they're going to bug out. Are you going to be the one to bug out? Are you going to be the one to eat that pork when Esau got an AK in his hand, right? And got your child right there. You have to think about these things. You have to think about these things. You have to meditate on what Esau is actually going to bring to the table when it's time. It's not always going to be. It's not honey buns and Chico sticks now, but we're coming upon the time of Jacob's trouble. So you got to gird yourself up, and you got to operate in power because the Lord gave you power. Yasha Allah literally means a prince that has power with God, right? And has prevailed over men. And so you have to walk in the power that the Most High God has given you. There's power in your name and even more power up in his name. So you got to call on that thing. If you don't have it up in practice now, then you got to get up in practice, man. Times are about to ramp up real quickly, right? Let's get Psalms chapter 94 and verse number 16. Because Esau, he doesn't care about the Most High God. Everything he does is contrary to the Most High God. And the Lord needs an army. The Lord needs an army. And you got to choose what side you're going to be on. Because it's easy to say that you're going to be up on the Lord's side now. But wait until them FEMA camps come, man. There's going to be many mighty people that starts to shake in their boots, man. Right? Many mighty people that's going to fall away. And the excuse going to be, I got kids. I got to think about my kids. No, you better think about Yahweh Shem Shai.
Con.
All right. 9 times out of 10, if you've been to the will of Esau, Esau's going to kill you anyway. Meditate on the things that Esau can do because he's done it before. Read about these things, man. Right? Bring it out.
It's the book of Psalms 94 and verse number 16. Anybody have it? Say Con. Psalms 94 and verse 16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?
Who's going to rise up for the Most High against the evildoers? Who's going to stand up for the Lord for the workers of iniquity, man? You have to be that person. If you plan on being up in the kingdom, hey, you gotta meditate even on dying for this thing, man. Right? Because it's cool with it with your fringes on. You know, you got the shoes to match your fringes, man. Right? It's easy right now because all you got to do is battle yourself. But what about when that time comes, when the EMP drop? You can't have I'll cross that road when I get to his spirit, man. You got to gird yourself up now. You got to prep yourself now. Soldiers are always prepping. Soldiers prep for the most inconveniencing moments, man. The moments that they think is not going to happen. Literally. So you got to do the same. You got to gird yourself up, and you have to also operate in the power that the Most High gives you. And you have to prep, man. You got to stand up for the Lord against the workers of iniquity. You got to tell Esau, hell no, I'm not going to eat that pork, right? Because they like to run straight to the pork and then grab your children up. And you know your own self. You know if you're a fold or not, right? But sometimes you don't know. And so you got to prep yourself. Let's get the book of Exodus 32 and 26, right? Because that was the Lord asking who is going to stand up for him, man. Right? But up in this account, people got busy for the Lord, man. People got busy for the Most High God. Are you going to get busy for the Most High God when the time comes? Are you gonna do everything you can for his word, man? You got to rise up against the evildoers. Bring that up.
All right. You want Exodus chapter what?
32 and 26.
All right. Yeah, I'm writing all of these down. It's the book of Exodus chapter 32 and verse number 26. Then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, who is on Yahweh's side? Let him come unto me.
He said what?
Who is on Yahweh's side?
You got to ask yourself, are you on the Most High side? Who is on Yahweh's side? You got to pick your team now. All right? Because some people are just dipping and dabbling up into in the world, man. But times are ramping up. To hell with the world. It's gonna burn anyway. And unless you got your mind and a soldier's mentality, you're gonna get swallowed up by the world, man. Right? In my TD Jakes voice, man. You're gonna get swallowed up by the world because you think that it's sweet now. We don't have the time to really wait. We have to prep now. You have to be girded up now. So gird up as much as you can. Keep reading. Actually, read it again.
Con, Exodus 32 and verse 26. Then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, who is on the Lord's side? Let him come unto me. And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together unto him.
Keep reading.
And he said unto them, thus saith the Lord God of Israel, put every man his sword by his side, and go in and out from gate to gate throughout the camp, and slay every man his brother, and every man his companion, and every man his neighbor.
And so these brothers These Levites, man, they got busy for the Most High God, man. You got to get busy for the Most High God too. Now, in the spirit, you gotta cut your brother up with these precepts to get him right. You gonna have to cut him up to get him right. That's a form of exhortation. Correction is a form of exhortation, man. And he'll thank you for it later on. But we have to gird up ourselves, man, because there's a lot of effeminacy, man, going around. You can't have the lazy spirit, man, especially up in this truth. You got to get it cracking. You got to study just that much harder, right? Let's go to 1 Kings chapter 2 and verse number 2. All right. Because these mighty men, hey, you got to know what a man first is to be to call yourself a mighty man, according to these scriptures. David was a mighty man, right? You know, Jehu was a mighty man. Mattathias and all 5 of his sons were mighty men. So you got to take these things and these accounts, you got to compare them to yourself to see if you would be able to go through like that. Or are you men like Nabal? Hey, you got to go down your list on the left-hand side too to see if you need to check yourself with those accounts. Right? The Ahab, man. The Ahabs. You don't want to be an Ahab out here. And so you got to check yourself and continually, you got to continually check yourself, man. Or before you know it, those wicked spirits can land up on you, and you won't be a good soldier. Right? Bring that up, huh?
This is 1 Kings chapter 2 and verse 2.
Right? And read the 4.
Con, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and
Right?
show thyself a
Soldiers,
man.
look here. Soldiers are strong, right? And yeah, sometimes they wear a mean mug sometimes, man. Just because they kind of holding it in, man. And it's not really good to hold it in. Brothers need to let it out what they going through. You know what I'm saying? But brothers, for the most part, try to muscle through it. The soldiers are strong and they muscle through it, man. They don't have the woe is me spirit. Don't have the woe is me spirit, man. The Lord not dealing with that. Right? Read that again, huh?
Con, 1 Kings chapter 2 and verse 2. I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man.
Right? You got to show yourself a man. Right? Now, how are you a man according to the scriptures? Right? Keep reading.
And keep the charge of the Lord thy God.
Right?
To walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments and his judgments and his testimonies as it is written in the law of Moses.
See? So basically, to be a man, according to the scriptures, you got to keep these law, statutes, and commandments, man. Right? You have to go by the law. You got to do what Moses said. You got to do what Christ said, man. Right? You gotta do everything that comes out of the mouth of the Most High God, according to Deuteronomy chapter 8, man. Right? You gotta speak as an oracle of God, man. You have to speak like a soldier. The Lord was very straightforward in his commandments, right? Thou shalt not this, thou shalt not that. Right? When you read it in the Hebrew, it say no kill, no steal, no God front your face. And so it's very direct, right? Keep reading.
Testimonies as it is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whithersoever thou turnest thyself.
And the Lord will make your steps prosperous, man, when you fight in this fight. As a soldier, man, there's a lot of wars ahead of you. There's a whole lot of wars ahead of you, right? Let's get 2 Ezra chapter 7 and verse number 57.
Uh,
Second Ezra chapter 7 and verse number 57. Because when people come into the truth, they think that it's easy and that is nothing but food and yayan. That's kind of the first word. Look, brothers learn shalom, right? And yayan.
All right.
That'd be the first words. Huh? What's to the yayan? Right? But it's not only food and yayan. You got work that needs to be done. You got studying to do. Should nobody be able to take your book and know the history better than you? This is your history. You think the soldiers don't know about the wars of times past up in Esau's society? He knows it, man. He knows all the wars. He know the history of his presidents, right? We need to know the history of our kings, right? And our generals, our captains of thousands and hundreds, fifties and tens. We need to know those histories. So you got to dig up in those kings. You got to dig up in those chronicles, man. You got to read Nehemiah, right? You got to read all these books, man, so that you can know the way that the Lord wants you to move. Because there's a certain way that the Lord wants you to move, and He wants you to move as a soldier and as a king on the earth, right? And for the sisters, man, princesses on the earth, right? But read that out. Salakia, go to Hebrews chapter 10 and verse number 23. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse number 23. Because soldiers love to be around their people, right? Their fellow comrade, right? The Akia, man. Brothers love to be around each other. Hey, sisters need to learn how to love to be around each other too, man. Brothers will be at, it should be no reason why brothers is at the feast days don't want to leave, but then the sisters want to rush brothers out. Y'all got to have that same zeal, man. Look at the sister in Second Ezra chapter 7, man. Her husband died up in Jerusalem. But later on, she still taught them children, man. And she had young children. And so how much the more do you have to study? Because she studied under her head, man. And the head is not just a husband. It could be a father, it could be a leader, it could be a captain. Literally. Right? But read that.
Khan. This is Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 23. Let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering.
Right. You got to hold on to your faith without wavering. Right? You can't waver up in this truth. You got to continuously be headstrong up in this truth. Right? And as a soldier of the Most High God, you especially have to be headstrong. Right? You got to keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. Right? Keep reading.
For He is faithful that promised.
For He is what?
For He is faithful that promised.
Right. And the Lord is faithful, man. Right? Keep reading.
And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works.
Right. So you gotta love the good works, man. You gotta love good works. Right. All right. So these are the things that the Lord wants you to do as a good soldier. Right? Keep reading.
Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together. As the
Right?
manner
You don't
of
want to
some
forsake the assembly. Right? Soldiers love to be around each other. It's a part of the brotherhood. Right? It's a part of the brotherhood. If you look at the so-called Marine Corps and the armies, the navies, that's all that they got is brotherhood. Right? Keep reading.
Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another,
Right.
and so much the more as you see the day approaching.
Right. So you want to exhort one another, right? And exhortation comes in many forms, man. Right. But one thing about a soldier is that he loves to be around his people. He loves to be around his brother. A sister loves to be around her sisters. Right. Let's get the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 11 and verse number 7. And we're gonna read down to 11. Second Samuel, Salakia, chapter 11 and verse number 7.
This is 2 Samuel chapter 11 and verse number 7. And when Uriah was come unto him, David demanded of him how Joab did, and how the people did, and how the war prospered. And David said to Uriah, Go down to thy house and wash thy feet. And Uriah departed out of the king's house, and there followed him a mess of meat from the king.
All right, can you read it?
But Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of his lord, and went not down to his house.
All right, can you read it?
And when they had told David, saying Uriah went not down unto his house, David said unto Uriah, Camest thou not from thy journey?
See, he didn't even want to leave, right? He didn't even want to go home. But keep reading.
Camest thou not from thy journey? And why then didst thou not go down unto thine house? Keep on.
Keep reading.
And Uriah said unto David, The ark and Israel and Judah abide in tents, and my lord Joab and the servants of my lord are encamped in the open fields. Shall I then go into mine house to eat and to drink, and to lie with my wife? As thou livest and as thy soul liveth, I will not do this thing.
Right. So what he's saying is that my people are outside, my brothers and my soldiers. The king is outside. I can't quite go home yet. Right. I need to go according to what my brothers are doing. I need to be with my brothers, man. Those are the things that he's saying. So brothers and soldiers like to dwell amongst each other, man, especially in a time of war. Right. Woe to him that is alone. Right. Woe to him that is alone. Right. Two have a good reward for their labor. So you can't forsake the assembly at all. Right? As the manner of some forsake the assembly. Right? Let's get Exodus chapter 18 and verse number 19. Exodus chapter 18 and verse number 19.
It's the book of Exodus chapter 18 and verse number 19. Whenever I have it, say Khan. Exodus chapter 18 and verse number 19. Hearken now unto my voice. I will give thee counsel, and God shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to Godward, that thou mayest bring the causes. Khan, go ahead.
And Salakia, right? As a soldier of the Most High God, right? The way of a soldier in Israel, you have to be for the people to God, right? The people towards God, the people to Godward. You got to want to have all your people make it to the kingdom. You got to have them all want to be up in the right standards with the Most High God. That's what a soldier of the Most High God actually does, man. He exhorts his people to go according to what the Most High God said, man. Right? Moses was a mighty soldier, man. Moses was a mighty soldier. He loved his people. He tried to save a lot of his people from destruction by the Most High God. All of the prophets tried to warn their people against uh, because the destruction of the Most High God was near. So you have to, as a soldier of the Most High God, you have to be for the people to Godward. And it's not easy all the time. It's not easy all the time because everybody don't want to be with the Most High God. You kind of love them more than they love them, man. And it'd be evident, right? But we can't suffer them to die, right? Because the blood is on our hands when we don't give them warning. Just like the blood is on the hands of a soldier who did not give them a warning that they see a sniper on top of the roof, right? The blood was almost on the hands of the Secret Service twice. You got Donald Trump, man. He almost got hit twice. Took his ear off, and I didn't even see the other video if there was one. But there was a second assassination attempt, right? Let's go to Sirach chapter 4 and verse number 9. Sirach chapter 4 and verse number 9. And this lesson is not going to be long. It's going to be a quickie, but a goodie, man. Right? So bring that up. Sirach chapter 4 and verse number 9.
Con. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 4 and verse 9. Deliver him that suffereth wrong from the hand of the oppressor.
It say what?
Deliver him that suffereth wrong from the hand of the oppressor.
So you don't want the oppressor being the other nations. You don't want them to have their hands all over your people, man. The things that happen to our people by another nation, it shouldn't really happen, right? The Laquan McDonald's, right? The George Floyds, right? All those things should not be happening because we're not supposed to allow the other nations to put their hands on our people. And that's in the scriptures. There shouldn't be nobody up in the back kind of chilling with a phone in their hand, man. Get away from our people. Right? Read it again.
Con. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 4 and verse 9. Deliver him that suffereth wrong from the hand of the oppressor.
And our people suffer wrongdoings from the hand of our oppressors, right? Which the Lord is going to give us our lick back. The Lord tells us to meditate terrors on these people. And all those that do wrong to those that are of the nation of Israel, man, the holy nation, right? So, let's get the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17. Let's go to verse number 1.
Come.
The Lord gonna have their mind state messed up. All those that are enemies against the holy nation. And a lot of your enemies are even people of your own nation. 2/3, man. Right? It's not excluding them. This lesson is not excluding them. Right? 2/3 are gonna get theirs too when it comes to them dealing wrongly with the children of their own people, man. Right? Read that out.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17 and verse 1.
God.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17 and verse 1. For
Right.
great are thy judgments and cannot be expressed. Therefore unnurtured souls have erred.
Right? Unnurtured souls, that's being those that are not literally eating of this roll, man. They're not drinking the spiritual waters of the Most High God. That's an unnurtured soul that doesn't dip and dab into these scriptures, that don't want to dive into the history of their forefathers. Right? Keep reading.
Verse 2. For when the unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation.
See, there's unrighteous men that seek to oppress the holy nation. Right? Keep reading.
They being shut up in their houses, the prisoners of darkness, and feathered with the bonds of a long night.
Right.
Lay there exiled from the eternal providence.
Right. So basically, they get they get exiled from the external providence, man. Meaning that they don't get a ticket into the kingdom, right? They get gone from even the body that they supposed to labor with, man. Right? Keep reading.
For while they supposed to lie hid in their secret sins, they were scattered under a dark veil of forgetfulness.
See, they had secret sins, man. Right, and they had a veil of forgetfulness. A soldier is going to communicate with his team members, man. Right, a soldier is going to communicate with his team members. Right, you could drop that. Get the book of James, chapter 5 and verse number 19. Communication is key, man. You must communicate with your team members, right? With the Akians, with the Aquathians. All right. So James chapter 5 and verse number 19.
It's the book of James, chapter 5, verse number 19. And everybody have it say Con. James chapter 5 and verse number 19. Brethren, if any of you do err from the truth, and one convert him, let him know that they which converteth the sinner from the error of his way shall save a soul from death.
Right. So brothers have the power to save a soul from death, but you also have to communicate. Keep reading.
And shall hide a multitude of sins.
And they shall hide a multitude of sins. Right? Keep reading.
That's it on that.
Okay. Well, that's still on that, man. But basically, communication is key. Right? You must communicate with your team. Right? So let's get Leviticus chapter 19 and verse number 16.
I got it. It's Leviticus chapter 19 and verse number 16. When everyone have it, say Con. Leviticus chapter 19 and verse number 16. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among the people.
Meaning, you're not supposed to be spreading rumors, right? There shouldn't be a rumor of a note from about another soldier around the body, right? Keep reading.
As a talebearer among thy people, neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor.
So, like we Lord. Okay. So the Lord spoke it, man. Meaning, you're not supposed to let another nation spill your people's blood. When you read the account of Moses, right? When you read the account of Moses, he slaved that Egyptian for his brother's sake, right? For his people's sake. And Moses was raised an Egyptian, man, in the Pharaoh's house. So how much the more you being around your people and knowing that you're an Israelite, hey, you can't let your people get hands put on them, man. And the soldier wouldn't. You think a United States soldier is gonna let a Russian soldier put hands on his comrade? No, right? It's not happening. And as an Israelite, you have a duty, man. You have a duty to make sure that your people are safe. You have a duty to make sure that they're spiritually safe as well. You got to fortify the walls. Fortify the walls of your people. Let's get Nehemiah chapter 6 and verse number 2.
It's the book of Nehemiah, chapter 6 and verse number 2. That Sanballat and Geshem sent unto me, saying, Come, let us meet together in some one of the villages in the plain of Ono. But they thought to do me mischief.
Right? Because you got people that seek to do mischief to other people, especially of your nation. Right? Keep reading.
But they thought to do me mischief. And I sent messengers unto them, saying, I am doing a great work, so that I cannot come down. Why should the work
Right?
cease?
He said, why should the work cease? Right? The work keeps on going. A lot of the time it's not a time to chill. When it's time to do the work, it's time to do the work. Right? When it's time to get busy, it's time to get busy. Right? Especially as a soldier of the Most High God. So you got many duties as an Israelite, man. Many duties as a soldier. You got to teach your people, right? You have to defend your people, and you even got to defend your God, man. Because the Lord said, "Who's going to stand up for him?" You got to be the one to stand up for him, right? Keep reading.
Come, come, let us meet together in some one of the villages in the plain of Ono. But they thought to do me mischief. And I sent messengers unto them, saying, I am doing a great work, so that I cannot come down. Why should the work cease, while I leave it and come down to you?
Keep reading.
Yet they sent unto me 4 times after this sort.
See, this brother Nehemiah, man, he has a sound mind. They starting to annoy Nehemiah now, sending message after message after message, man. Right? Keep reading.
And I sent messages unto them, saying, Slakia, verse 4, yet they sent unto me 4 times after this sort, and I answered them after the same manner.
And they getting the same response. Keep reading.
Then sent Sambalot his servant unto me in like manner the 5th time with an open letter in his hand, wherein was written, It is reported among the heathen, and Gashmu saith it, that thou and the Jews think to rebel, for which cause thou buildest the wall, that thou mayest be their king, according to these words. And
Right?
thou
Keep
hast
reading.
and thou hast also appointed prophets to preach of thee at Jerusalem, saying, There is a king in Judah, and now shall it be reported to the king according to these words. Come now, therefore, and let us take counsel together.
And so now these brothers are lying on Nehemiah, man, doing anything to move him up out of his position that he's in. Anything to stop the walls from fortifying, man, from building the walls of the nation, man, of Jerusalem, right? But keep reading. Read verse 8.
Con. Then I sent unto him, saying, There are no such things done as thou sayest, but thou feignest them out of thine own heart.
Meaning that he knew that they were lying and they were just pulling it out of their own mind, man, right? Like a rabbit out of a hat, man. Anything to make him stop doing the work. Anything, right? Go to 15. Go to verse 15.
Verse 15. So the war was finished in the 25th day of the month, Elul, in 52 days. And it came to pass that when all our enemies heard thereof, and all the heathens that were about us saw these things, they were much cast down in their own eyes. For they perceived that this work was wrath of our God.
See? And when the wall eventually got finished, man, there was nothing that anybody or the heathen could do to stop the walls from being built, right? But rather, they saw that it was the work of the Most High God, and they became scared, man. The heathens are always going to be scared when the Lord is with you. That's the last thing that they want. They don't want the Lord to be with you. They want you to be like them, godless, man, fireless, with no spark, man. Don't be just like them, or else they win, right? Get the book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 17. I'm about to close up in a few.
It's the book Leviticus chapter 19 and verse number 17. Leviticus 19 and verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
All right. So rebuking, right, is correction. You're correcting a person. That's even a form of exhortation, man. So that they can get their head up in the game. So that they can become a better them at the end of the day. Right? So you must rebuke your neighbor, man. You can't suffer sin upon him. You can't, a soldier is not going to let any of his soldiers fall. He's not going to give his soldiers false direction either. Right? And whether you like it or not, man, sports is a lot like war. Like, say, a football team, man. The football team is basically a team of warriors. And they're always around each other, and they exhort one another and even correct one another. You got to move like that, man. Right? Hey, Shamaya, if you got it, can you play that video I sent you? You got to constantly exhort your brothers, man, and your sisters. Push them to be a better them. Right? You got it up?
Let me see. Oh, I see it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, too.
Okay.
All right, let me share it.
After that video, I got one more precept.
God, close it almighty.
God.
And you know a senior in this room, you give him everything in your body today.
Can you hear it?
You break your neck to break their neck. That's how you win big games. You hit them in the mouth. You hit them in the mouth, kings. Every single one of y'all in here are kings. You kings. So when you step on that field again, you don't say, let's go, my nigga. You say, let's go, king. This is our house. I was born a king. I was born to be a winner. I was born to be a champion. The difference between a champion and a loser is a mindset. Once you put your mindset where a killer mindset is, ain't nobody gonna stop you. Because I'm gonna tell you now, this game is not for nice people. And y'all know that this game is not for nice people. This game is for young men running around neighborhoods knowing if they don't make a play, if they don't get a scholarship, they gonna die in that neighborhood. They're gonna end up another statistic. See, some people play the game for the Gatorade and the cheerleaders. And some people play the game because they know they gotta save their family life. They gotta make a way. Their family tree is rotten, so they gotta replant one. And what football gives you the ability to do, it gives you the ability to leave the slums, go to one of the nicest colleges in the world, build your own name, build your own legacy, get drafted, and tell your mama and your daddy and your sister, we leaving the hood today. And you know why we leaving? Because I was unselfish. Because I left everything on the field. I want you guys to believe, don't just listen to me. Feel me in your soul. Believe you can win. Believe you can win. Because we only get one shot at this, King. We didn't come this far to come this far. Let me repeat that. We didn't come this far to come this far. We came here to be champions. We came here to be one of the #1 schools in the country. We came here to show even people in our own city that's doubting us that you will be my fan. You will follow me and you will bite your words. Because that head coach, you got all these coaches, all these men around you. That's the blessing. That's who you play for. Because at the end of the day, you guys are going, I'm telling you, it's going to go fast. It's going to go fast. One day you're going to be riding down the street, you're going to see your coach, you're going to say, Coach, all the lessons you gave me, I should have listened. It's going to be somebody that say that. I should have listened. But tonight, if you listen to every single word them coaches say, if you be unselfish, if you don't think about yourself, if you don't think about that, all them thousands of fans standing on the outside, put your mind frame on the field. Keep your mind frame on the field. And when you step off that bus, you tighten up your tie and you say, this is my business trip. Are you going to close the deal or are you going to fold? When I stepped on the field, I had a mind frame. My mother was a heroin addict. So when I stepped on the field, I thought about, I want to save my mama's life. This man in front of me is going to stop me from saving my mom. It's going to stop me from saving my brothers and my sisters. It's going to stop me from taking my brothers and sisters away from crackheads and drug addicts every day. And when I looked at my opponent across from me, I told him, you not hungry enough. You don't want this enough. My life on the line. You hear me? Get your life on the line today. Everything on the line. If you go out there and you let them hit you in your mouth and beat you, you quit. Them teenage boys just like you teenage boys. They bleed just like you. They go to class just like you. So you gonna let a man stand in front of you and say, I'm more man than you? Or you gonna hit him in the mouth and say, hey boys, we came to fight. I ain't gotta talk to you. I ain't gotta bicker to you. I'm gonna hit you in your mouth for 60 minutes. Kings, whatever you do today, you leave every drop of your blood on that field today. And I'm proud of you. Win, loss, or draw. But I want y'all to remember one thing, King. Remember one thing. The best gifts come from the bottom. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like when you open up that cereal box as a kid, that gift was at the bottom. You had to eat through all that to get that gift at the bottom. And that's your season. That's your season. You had to eat through all that. Coaches cussing you out, trying to get your grades together, arguing in the study hall, arguing with teammates, fighting with teammates. Now, today is the day that you put all that in the package. You put all that in the grenade, and you blow Hoover Stadium up tonight. And you let them know that Sparkman football is here for years to come. But the legacy, it starts today. Wide receivers, run every route like your life depends on it. Linebackers, break your neck to break their neck. I don't care about injuries. Offensive line, get nasty. Get nasty. If you hit him in the first play of the game, hit him in his mouth. I don't care if it's a draw play. You block him till the whistle is over with. Make him say this dude is extra. Make him say this dude is crazy. If you believe, King, anything is possible. Anything is possible. I'm King Hollis, man. I love y'all. Go out there and become champion. Y'all be blessed.
That's the end of the video. Con. So you gotta hit sin in the mouth, man. Right? You gotta hit envy and strife and bickering and pettiness up in the mouth, man. All of those are sins. And that brother gave some exhortation to his team. That's the same way that you got to be for your people. And you have many scriptures about exhortation up in the scriptures, but I'm only gonna hit one, right? Let's get the book of First Maccabees, chapter 13. We're gonna read 1 through 10.
It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 13 and verse 1. Now when Simon heard that Tryphon had gathered together a great host to invade the land of Judea and destroy it, and saw that the people was in great trembling and fear, he went up to Jerusalem and gathered the people together and gave them exhortation, saying, Ye yourselves know what great things I and my brethren and my father's house have done for the laws in the sanctuary, the battles also and troubles which we have seen.
See, these brothers were soldiers, man. These brothers were soldiers. If you need an example of good soldiers, man, look at these brothers, man. Look at the Maccabees. Read through the Maccabees, man. It fires my spirit up every time I read it, man. Keep reading.
By reason whereof all my brethren are slain for Israel's sake, and I am left alone. Now therefore be it far from me that I should spare my own life in any time of trouble, for I am no better than my brethren. Doubtless I will avenge my nation and the sanctuary and our wives and our children, for all the heathens are gathered to destroy us of very malice. Now as soon as the people heard these words, their spirit revived.
Their what?
Their spirit revived.
You got to be able to revive your people's spirit, man. Right? A soldier is able to revive one of his comrades' spirit, man. That's a part of being a good soldier. That's the way of a soldier. To help your brother down help your brother up when he's down, right? Right? Keep reading.
God. And they answered with a loud voice, saying, Thou shalt be our leader instead of Judas and Jonathan thy brother. Fight thou our battles, and whatsoever thou commandest us that we will do. So then he gathered together all the men of war and made haste to finish the walls of Jerusalem, and he fortified it round about.
And he fortified the walls, man. And that took mighty men, the men of war, the men of valor, to fortify the walls, man. Right? And you got to be one of those mighty men that fortifies the walls. As Israelites, we're here to build up our kingdom and fortify the walls of our people. Get one more. 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse number 3.
Says 2 Timothy 2 and 3.
God.
This is the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2 and verse 3. 2 Timothy 2 and verse 3. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushai HaMashiach.
Read that again.
2 Timothy 2 and verse 3. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushai HaMashiach.
So in this walk, it's not always going to be easy. Right? You got people against you. Right? You got sometimes your own nation against you. You got the heathen against you. But you got the Most High God with you. You got Yahushua with you. So you got to endure hardness as a good soldier in Christ. So all praises to the Most High God. This concludes the lesson on the Tuesday Iron Sharpen Iron. I pray that the nation got edified through the words and the power of the Most High God.
Come on. Oh, praise us. Good soldier indeed, man. Say Buffalo soldier, toy soldier, soldier of war, being a good soldier of the Lord indeed. Yeah, I'm about to go watch that video.
Okay.
Man, had me fired. I was about to get up and run through this damn wall. I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
God. Whenever brothers want to end the life.
God. Yeah, they're going to end the live, King.
God.
God. Yeah, I got it from here. I'll close it out with the Lord's Prayer.
Okay.
All right. So I'll praise you. How about Shemel Shai? Hopefully every brother and sister got edified by the lesson. It will also be on the YouTube HOI class. If you want to watch it again, definitely tune into it. It's on HOI class. And once again, let's keep pushing this, bro. The times that we in, we got too much going on right now, man. The prophecy is happening. World War III, literally about to pop off even more. And then you got Trump and Kamala. Like the brother Gabar said, either one get into the office, it's going to be hell to pay. In the meantime, the Lord has given us grace and mercy and the chance to get ourselves right, get our spirit right, mentally, physically, spiritually. Learn to band together as a nation through the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai. So we got to do our part before stuff really hit the fan. And the Lord has given us that time to get it done. But time ain't going to be forever, and time is winding down. So once again, hopefully I was edified. Let's close it out with the Lord's Prayer, family. Let's close it out with the Lord's Prayer. Give you at least 30 seconds. All praise Yahweh Shem Shai Bashem Hakadash. Shemai Yasharallah Yahweh Allah Haynawa Yahweh Ahad Abanawa Shema Shemayim Kodash Haya Shamka Yahweh Malakovka Taba'a Ratazaka Haya Aisha Barataza Kawa Haya Bashemayim Natananawa Laham Hayawam Wasalachnawa Kabawafnawa Kasalachnawa Kabawafinawa Wala'a Tabiyainawa Banasayawan Abal Hawashainawa Mayan Rai Kaya Laka Amalakwaf Waha'alal Wahatsbaraf Lai Walamyam Amen. We come to you in Yahweh Shemel Shai. We ask for mercy and forgiveness for any sins we have committed against you, knowingly, unknowingly. Sins of our forefathers, our foremothers, sins of our grandparents, and our parents as well, Yahweh Shemel Shai, and also to guide us and direct our steps, to also to use us as a manifestation to break generational curses of our households, to be an example and a light, Yahweh Shemel Shai, to help those that are in need, help those that are sick, mentally, physically, also spiritually, help those that need healing, Yahweh Shemel Shai. Strengthen us also in these times to be able to overcome the trials and tribulations that's coming, to be able to overcome the ways of Satan, and also give us the spirit to band together as brothers and sisters, as a nation. Give us the spirit to manifest our gifts and our talents, Yahweh Shemel Shai, you have given us, so we can use it for your benefit and for our people, and also direct our steps in righteousness and give us the spirit to overcome all things for Yahweh Shemel Shai. Also to make us prepared and ready in the times for Yahweh Shai, to be able to make into the kingdom and to protect us from the ways of Satan again. The water to Wab Ewalam. Man. Come.
God.
So all praises, family. Hopefully I was edified. Mighty, mighty lesson from the brother. Gabar Noir. Right? The Bear of Chicago.
God.
The Ripper of couch legs with bare hands. You know? The barbarian himself. The Hebrew Mahdi.
No, I'm just joking, but
Madness. Because
Mahdi of madness. All right. All praises, family. Hopefully I was edified. Let's keep going. Let's keep pushing. Let's keep each other in prayer. And let's stay consistent, family. Most High keep y'all safe. Let's endure to the end. With that, inshallah. God. All praises. All praises.
Shalom.
Shalom, fam.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.